Samantha had been planning her trip to Marrakech for months. The allure of the city's bustling markets, fragrant spices, and historic architecture was irresistible. When she found a beautifully restored riad on Airbnb, it seemed like the perfect place to immerse herself in the local culture. The riad, tucked away in the maze-like Medina, was stunning. Its intricate mosaics, lush courtyard, and rooftop terrace offering views of the Koutoubia Mosque felt like a dream come true. The host, Youssef, was accommodating, providing a detailed guide of the city and arranging for a car to pick her up from the airport. Samantha arrived in the late afternoon, the golden sunlight casting long shadows through the narrow streets. Youssef met her at the door, a tall man with a warm smile and eyes that seemed to hold secrets of centuries past. He showed her around, explaining the history of the riad and sharing tips for navigating the city. He then handed her an old-fashioned key, unusually heavy and ornate. As night fell, Samantha settled into her room, the peaceful sounds of the courtyard fountain lulling her into relaxation. She couldn't wait to explore Marrakech the next day, but as she lay in bed, she began to feel uneasy. The room was silent, yet she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. In the middle of the night, Samantha was jolted awake by a faint, rhythmic tapping sound. It was coming from behind one of the walls. She tried to dismiss it as the house settling or perhaps a neighboring riad, but the tapping grew louder, more insistent. She got up and followed the noise, which led her to a small, ornate door she hadn't noticed before. With a sense of trepidation, she turned the heavy key in the lock. The door creaked open to reveal a narrow staircase descending into darkness. Heart pounding, Samantha grabbed her phone for light and cautiously stepped down. The air grew cooler and damper with each step. At the bottom of the stairs, she found a small, dusty room filled with old, decaying furniture and tattered books. In the center of the room was an ancient-looking chest. As she approached, the tapping stopped. She hesitated, then lifted the lid. Inside was a collection of faded photographs and letters, all depicting a family that once lived in the riad. There were images of children playing in the courtyard, a woman cooking in the kitchen, and a man smoking a pipe on the rooftop terrace. One photograph caught her eye. It showed a young girl, perhaps 8 or 9 years old, staring solemnly at the camera. Her eyes were eerily familiar. Samantha's breath caught in her throat as she read the name scrawled on the back of the photo. Amina. She remembered Youssef mentioning a tragic story about a young girl named Amina who had disappeared from the riad many years ago, never to be found. Suddenly, the air grew colder, and Samantha felt a presence behind her. She spun around, but there was no one there. The tapping resumed, louder and more frantic. She backed away, her mind racing with fear, and stumbled upon a dusty mirror propped against the wall. In the mirror's reflection, she saw the faint outline of a girl standing behind her, her eyes wide with sorrow and desperation. Samantha whirled around, but the girl was gone. The tapping continued, now accompanied by faint whispers. Terrified, Samantha ran back up the stairs and slammed the door shut. She could still hear the tapping, but it was now muffled. She spent the rest of the night wide awake, huddled in her bed, clutching the heavy key. The next morning, Youssef found her pale and shaken. She tried to explain what had happened, but he dismissed her fears, attributing them to jet lag and the vivid imagination of a traveler. Nevertheless, he allowed her to leave early, promising to refund her remaining nights. Samantha left Marrakech with a heavy heart, haunted by the memory of Amina and the sense that the Riad held secrets that would never be uncovered. She later learned that the Riad had a long history of guests reporting strange occurrences, all dismissed as mere coincidence. But Samantha knew better. She could still hear the tapping in her dreams, a reminder of the young girl trapped in the shadows of the Riad, forever searching for a way out.